Welcome everyone to our book talk today with Philosopher Desh Subba. And before we begin, I would like to introduce myself a bit and then also introduce our author today and his book, as well as um, our one reviewer who is here, Tira, who joins us today for the book talk. And so my name is Elsa, and I'm the founder of Inspire Youth Journal. And I'm really honored to have Desh Subba here today to join us in our book talk. And this book talk was actually inspired by the Hong Kong University's book talk with him back in 2015. It was on another one of his book named Philosophy of Fearism. And so a little bit about Desh Subba. So he was born in eastern Nepal and currently resides with his family in Hong Kong. He is known for his contributions to organic theories, particularly through his works such as Philosophy of Fearism and Fearmorphosis, which is the book that we'll discuss today. And he has garnered a large following among philosophers and authors worldwide and has co-authored several books with other thinkers. And since then, he has received numerous awards, including the International Book Awards, the New York Book Festival Award, and the Southern California Book Festival Awards. He has also lectured at various prestigious universities, including Hong Kong University and Paris University. And we were really fortunate that Desh Subba joined us as our first distinguished partner in 2024, and we wrote a book review for his book, Fearmorphosis, which is what we'll discuss today. This book review was written by Ethan Sell, who is a second-year student at LSE, who unfortunately, due to his busy schedule, could not make it to today's book talk. And we also have another one of our reviewers, Mahati, and she is a third-year law student at Flame University in India. And she also unfortunately could not make it, but we're really fortunate to have Tira here today with us. So I would really like to invite her to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyra. I am from the UK. As Anna said, I also reviewed this book and thoroughly enjoyed reading it. Um, yes, I am currently studying journalism at Oxford Brookes University. And during this talk, I'm looking forward to hearing about um, Dr. Saba's what inspired him to write this book and how it reflected within this book for him.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And before we start, I would like to invite Desh Subba to kind of briefly introduce your book before we ask you further questions on it.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Desh Subba. Miss Elsa has already introduced me, and I'm very grateful to this Youth Inspire team and the book reviewers. Today, we are going to talk about Fearmorphosis, Man is a Fear Sisyphus, and Being Was by Panopticons. This book and its title, it's saying a lot of things already in the philosophical field, but we have to discuss it to the point in later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your brief summary. And as I mentioned before we start, but anyone in our participants would like to introduce themselves, or if not, you can also just type that in the chat. Ignacio, could you introduce yourself?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me here. I'm from Spain, and I'm hoping to learn more about fearmorphosis and how fear shapes us. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? Moon, please go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here. My name is Moon. I'm currently in Vietnam. I'm also hoping to learn more about Fearmorphosis today, directly from the author. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to go? If not, we can just go on with the question. And so I guess to start us off, a question I have for Desh Subba is, what inspired you to write this book, since I know, it's a question that a lot of us here want to know the answer to?
Uh, Thank you very much. I always try to find something new in my writing. When I finished my philosophy of theorism and trans philosophism, I was just looking new matter to be right, and it's just like I always want to do like a contradict some kind of new presentation, a representation of the traditional philosophies and writings. One day, when I was just thinking about it, I saw the Sisyphus and his boulder, a big stone. Mostly, people only see the Sisyphus. They focus about the Sisyphus. But my thinking and focus point is different. I just look the boulder one. And when I just look the boulder one and writing of the myth of Sisyphus, and I try to just compare and try to find something what is the exactly Albert Camus was saying and what he has just picked up from the Homer's book Odyssey and uh, another one, and I just try to again examine and filter this the concepts, and I thought and I read his books. He said that when a people or anybody else like a Sisyphus pushing up and up and again coming down, again going up and coming down. And when that boulder is coming down from the peak, at that time, Sisyphus feels happy. And I thought, is that right or not? My point is, no, that is not right. And when we just see the Sisyphus, the three categories, the first one is for Homer, that is general. It was not colored by any theories, any ideas, any principles. When the Camus has written in the myth of Sisyphus, he just put the color of absurdity and put are meaningless. And when I just see that Sisyphus again, and I see the boulder again, I say to you, and this the three stages of Sisyphus. I use again the multiple Sisyphuses. The we have a book reviewer here also. They have already see the Sisyphuses. At that Sisyphuses, everyone is like a philosopher, like a student. Most of we are here, the participant students. Students are also a Sisyphus. What is their boulder? The Sisyphus, the students' boulder is a books of bags. They are always carrying and carrying every day, going to school, coming back, going to school, coming back. That is student Sisyphus. And in my book, there is a Sisyphus image that is with a tie and suit. The traditional Sisyphus doesn't have such kind of dresses. But why this Sisyphus has a tie and suit like a capitalist Sisyphus? This is like at the recent time we can see the example of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is also a Sisyphus. His builder is a before he has only the small builder billionaire. Now he became a trillionaire. After trillionaire, the boulder is coming down again to the ground. It means the last week only he lost 500 billion. Means all these people are one kind of Sisyphus. They always pushing and coming, and this process is always going. And the happy moment of Albert Camus' point is that Friday, Monday to Friday, the employee, they go to work, and Saturday, Sunday, they have a holiday. That coming down boulder is compared with the Saturday and Sunday. And I make another argument here is that if the Saturday, Sunday is a happy moment, then if an employee is not working for 1 year, that be the more happy time. But it doesn't like that, because when 1 year somebody is unemployed, no job or no business, they have some kind of another boulder. Means the boulder can be crossed down at any time. when we are going from home to the school, we're going to the home from the office. Step by step, we have a boulder. From the child to the growing up to the adult, we have again step by step a boulder. That boulder at any time we cross to us. That is why different kind of Sisyphus we have. The common point we have is that the boulder can be crossed at any time. That's why I use this term as a fear Sisyphus. That is my almost synthesize of three Sisyphuses. Homer's, Albert Camus, and my Sisyphus is that at any time we have a fear. That fear Sisyphus, I have written in that book again. Fear is also a Sisyphus because sometimes we have more fear. Again, we have more fear and coming down, more fear and coming down. That's why fear is itself is a Sisyphus. Uh, okay, thank you. Any more here?
Thank you so much for your detailed response. And since Tyra, you were one of the reviewers of this book, would you like to ask the next question?
Yes. Let me check the questions I have written down briefly. Yes, I would like to also hear what the writing process of this book was like for you, and to learn if it captured a deeper meaning that you hoped would reflect through anybody who read this book and came across this theory.
Uh, you mean the anybody has written in this theory any books? May I have your question again, please?
Just the deeper meaning that you hoped would get through to the readers of your book.
I don't know exactly because your sound is not coming clearly, is it?
Oh, I think she meant to ask, like, what is the deeper message you want the readers to get?
Okay. The first we have looked about the Philosopher. A deeper message is just go to the metamorphosis side, the practical way. Uh, when I'm just talking about the metamorphosis, and again I need to just go back to the three stages of metamorphosis, almost four stages including me. I have just started to study the metamorphosis from the Darwin's uh, The Origin of Species. It was published in 1859, and thus spoke Zarasutra of Friedrich Nietzsche's book was published in 1882. And Charles Darwin did not directly mention about the metamorphosis, but the evolution of the species is one kind of metamorphosis. But there is a group of the any species when they grouply metamorphosis, and that is called evolution. This book, I think, affected to the Friedrich Nietzsche, and he just write the book, first spoke Sutra. There are four stages of metamorphosis. He has mentioned that a camel, lion, child, and Superman is also the metamorphosis. This one is compared with the birth. From birth to the grow up to the adult, we have to be metamorphosis. And this if uh, metamorphosis not happen, the question is here, evolution either or the any kind of metamorphosis, there is not, no one has asked the question, why should we have to be metamorphosis? My point comes from that point, and when I just finished the reading of the Kafka's book, The Metamorphosis, and I also asked the question why the Gregor Samsa has metamorphosis into the vermin, and why the family members also the metamorphosis into the different behaviors. This is the very important point. like a Gregor Samsa, a practical way, and we have to just see in the family and society. If someone earning, if someone has a good salary, and every family members and friends behave us very nicely. In that, the metamorphosis is Gregor Samsa work 5 years without any holiday, 15 years without uh, continue there working in the sales boy. And when he was working as a sales boy and he is earning for the family, the sister, mother, everybody loved him very much. But suddenly, in one the morning, he was slept as a man, and the morning time when he wake up, it is already metamorphosis into the Brahmin. And the Brahmin, the person, Gregor Samsa, still want to support his family for finance because father was old, he has also the loan, mother is also sick, she was old, and his sister was very young, 17 years only. In this condition, he was the only person in the family who has an income. But suddenly he became a Brahmin. This Brahmin is a metaphor, a symbol of any kind. I just look it from the like a old age, like a paralysis, like a coma, like a disabled, or the like a long time unemployed person. If a man is long time unemployed or cannot work or cannot make the income, slowly the behavior of the family members also change. That is the very important part. Even in our family, suppose like I'm working even today, my son, my family, they like to me, they love me. But if tomorrow, if I'm not working, I get old, I become paralysis or coma, in this condition, everyone change their behavior. Friends also change, relatives also change, and they wish that this person is useless, it is better to die. The Gregor Samsa's condition was the same. And he became the disabled or the Burman and the family members also at last. How much they love, it doesn't matter. But at last, they wish that Gregor Samsa has to be died. This is very important part. And when I said that the Darwin's the evolution or the Frederick Nietzsche's Superman or the Kafka's this metamorphosis, there is again one thing is very common, that is a fear. And why we have to be metamorphosis? Because fear of collapse, fear of die, fear of extinction. Then we must need to be metamorphosis, change according to time and space. If we cannot change, transform our life, then we can be immediately die. Suppose a small child born in our family, that family, the small child has to be metamorphosis, need to be develop his body shapes, immune systems, cells. If not develop that body cells and some kind, then that the child cannot be grow up. Then indirect factor behind this metamorphosis is the fear. So I thought later on metapharmasis word doesn't carry the proper meaning. So what can carry the proper meaning? That's why I changed this the word. And instead of metamorphosis, I started to use fearmorphosis because any kind of metamorphosis behind is the fear. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you for your insightful response. And since we try to make this book talk kind of open, to everyone to ask questions, so would anyone in the audience like to ask? Oh yeah, I think someone just messaged um her question in the chat.
Yeah, so I need to reach this one. Okay. I got the question is there, the concern with anxiety and the fear. Most the people are not only the general people, And the great and philosophers are still confused. What is the confusing point is that such like a Heidegger is like I said that everything is by anxiety. Is it? Somebody just believe in anxiety, somebody believes in like a depression, somebody anything else. The human emotions, come is the point is here, the human emotions. I deeply studied this one. All the human emotions, feelings has equality or a difference. My point is difference there is. If we just go to see the human emotions in the common point that looks like a general and it is like a similar to all. But when we just go to inside there, then that's very different. I mean the love, ego, jealous, anxiety, and the fear are the differences. Because what is the main point to be different? I'm not claim for the other the human emotions and feelings, but my point is only the fear. And the fear point of view, when I started to look the scientific resources, other points, experiments, even in the development of the human brain, and when just look all this one in the like a historical background or a linguistic the inventions and some kind of the biological development is supported by support only to the fear. It is not my directly claim to this point. Everyone has a right to be examined. This one is whether my claim is right or wrong. When we just Google or something, try to find in the this one, there is one, the ancient development part of the brain that is called amygdala. My strong point to argue with other and or debate with other philosophers and thinkers is that amygdala is only looks the fear. This is the first development part of the brain, and American scientists they have already experimented this one in the mouse. When they try to remove this part from the brain, and that mouse started to start like a stagger, not balance, lost the consciousness, and just went to lick the cat. Normally, mouse doesn't go to the cat side when they have it has the consciousness, and the fear is the one thing is the first consciousness of the human life. Uh, when we have some kind of accident, some kind of the cases, anything happens in our daily life in front of us, firstly, our sense, five sense, send message to the brain. And what action we are taking, that is only the response of the brain. Means that is the response of the fear. Sometimes they like escape from that place, take the safety measures like that. The anxiety, the question is the comes anxiety. Anxiety, when I just define as small part of here, because anxiety, depression, and so many kind of mental disease have a fear. Because when I one time I went to visit in the northeast India, Manipur area, there I met one literary chairman, and he said to me, "I have a big depression nowadays." He said that to me, and I many the depression patients as well, but that is not my the specialist part, so I cannot define the different kind of depressions, different kind of mental issues. That chairman told me, "I have a depression." I asked to him, "What is the source of your depression?" He said, "I was a chairman. I misused the organizer's fund. After I misused the fund, I started a depression." He said, "Many people who lost their business, who lost their job, who are desperate in their life, and they started to go to the some kind of depression, some kind of anxiety, some kind of hyperphonia. There are so many kind of terms in the medical science, but their center point is it again when they just minimize their fear and anxiety and mental other problem can be slowly solved. So maybe the divine question is I think I can catch the anxiety is the small part of fear. The fear is the central part.
Thank you. And also thank you, Divine, for your thoughtful question as well. And would anyone else in the audience would like to ask a question? You can either type it in the chat or you can also just raise your hand and ask it. Yeah. If not, I also have a question for Suba. And so I was just wondering if, like, were there any existing theories that your book challenged? And how do you hope this book would influence, conversations regarding this topic?
Exactly. I don't have any challenge, book challenges or the philosophies so far as I know. Every time I used to just examine and filter myself, I ask myself, am I doing good or not? Am I doing right or wrong? And always I just chatting with the AI nowadays because I have to be examined. Tomorrow, everything is controlled by the AI. That is definitely. If our contribution is important, but AI and some social media or some kind of online system is not catching my idea, then that is useless. So when I just examine myself to my life, and just before also I did, my ideas are basically organic, as you said, and organic is because of new coinage of terminology. I used new terms, and there are two kind of philosophers in the world. One philosophers only copy and paste some ideas. They just take the ideas from their mentors or their superiors, and they just make some kind of change, and they just make some kind of tag in their name. That is one kind. One kind of philosophers, they originated the words, and they originated quotations. They originated some kind of words and so many things. They use their own terminologies, and my challenge is myself exactly, because very difficult for the other philosophers to challenge my idea. No, I'm not only telling this one. I just give the examples like that. I have synthesized the existentialism with the one sentence, because the to synthesize any ideas to like destroy our life, no need to be so many kind of bad habits. Only small mistake can be sometimes ruin our life. Similarly, in the philosophy of writing, some people, some authors write a huge and huge books, read many books, but some authors doesn't read many books and doesn't write many ideas. Just like I just give you the examples. uh, Existentialism, there are so many thinkers, but one sentence is of the Jean Paul Sartre synthesized that sentence is, existence precedes essence. This sentence is the central theme of the existentialist. And I made a question here. I make the big question here is that I challenge his idea. Anybody can openly ask me these questions again later on. I ask and I challenge this. The quotation is that the madman is also a man. Child is also a man. Is it or not? Maybe all of you agree with me. But mad is not following this Jean Paul Sartre's quote. And the small child, Jean Paul Sartre said that the birth throwing in this earth, anybody's throw in this earth, and he tried to find his essence. He said like that. The throwing a child in this earth or just born in the earth, he doesn't find this essence. He doesn't look about anything else, because that child's consciousness is not developed. And I just make another quotation is like that. Existence of fear, in the I used to the in the bracket, existence of fear or a fear precedes essence, means whenever people has started to develop their consciousness and knowledge, because I before I in my formula there was only four words: consciousness, and only like coming to like a consciousness and the fear. When like a somebody said that, yeah, ghost is coming or atom bomb is dropping in this area, when somebody know about it, then they started to fear. if they don't know atom bomb blast or the bombing in some area or the stone bombing, if they don't differentiate this between two, they don't be afraid of the fear. When they think, oh, this bomb is very poisonous and very dangerous, then start to fear. Suppose on the way, we are going on the way or some forest, we see some insect or some snake. We say, oh, this is a common snake, it's okay. But somebody said that, no, this snake is very poisonous. Automatically, our body started to fear with that snake. Otherwise, no. So later on, I just put the knowledge, consciousness, first life, consciousness, knowledge, and fear. After fear, we try to find the essence. Suppose like we are student now, uh, we don't have anything to be worried now, but our future is dark. When we think about future is dark, means future is dark means that is a symbol of fear again. Oh, tomorrow is very difficult situation is coming. This is blah. Then we try to manage our road a proper way to reach that the future destination. So when we don't know that is our future is dark or bright, then we don't need to be worried about this one. This is the one the point. And like Jinpo Sadhya is very important. The factor is again I say you a bad feet is very famous word. When we see the bad feet, bad feet, bad feet. The traditional the thinkers or the academicians follow this route. Even though I am just working in the now Simon de Beauvoir's book, The Second Sex, she has written a lot of places the bad feet. I asked the participant here, I asked the participant practical because we have to be practical. Jean Paul Sartre has given an example. In the restaurant, one boy is a waiter. That waiter cannot be cross that boundary. You think I just born to be a waiter. I cannot go beyond another professions. If I go to the another professions, that may be risky for me. When the waiter is thinking that, Jean Paul Sartre said that is a bad fit. Is it? Everybody maybe got this one. But I said, no, that is wrong. Because somebody said that I cannot do this work. I have to be confined myself in the within my room, within my space. I cannot go outside. When we are thinking like this, I am like a labor. We said Karl Marx said that like this. I'm a labor and labor and labor. When we are limited inside the labor area, that is not a bad fit. That is, I said, that is scapegoat fit. Means that person is scapegoating, victimizing himself. No one is victimizing him. He has a capacity to go beyond that area, but no, I don't want to go outside. I just to be stay here. If somebody said that is not a bad fit, that is scapegoat. Victimize, torture himself is the scapegoat fit. This kind of many ideas I have explained in my previous books. The challenging point, Elsa, what you asked me is, I'm not feeling the challenge from the philosophers. I have only big challenge is the I'm not spreading my idea. Because I just what I'm doing is limited area I have. Yeah, same like maybe it is also scapegoat area. Maybe what I said before means I have not the high education first. Secondly, I'm not a professor in university. I'm not a big seller, the author. This confines my idea is silence myself. That's why I am just try to overcome this silence myself using the some kind of social medias, writing the provocative articles. This is my medium to be go. But it takes time to be reach to the some the broad areas. But my idea is very difficult to challenge by other ideas. Let's see tomorrow what happened. But now is only the 10 years. I'm starting to write in English only this 10 years. It takes maybe 50 years, 100 years to be reached to the mass people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think another one of our participants have a question for you.
Okay, I just try to read here.
Um, Kunga, I think you can either like open your mic or you can to ask the question. I assume you want that. Or
Uh, and
All
Kunga,
right,
yes.
sure. I hope the background noise is not disturbing much. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I think.
All right. So I heard you talking about Jean-Paul Sartre's idea of existentialism, but I was also wondering, does reject Sartre's idea of radical uh, freedom, or does it like simply redefine it? I mean, like, is fear about sex? I was also wondering, can fear itself become a form of bad faith? Thank you.
Bad faith is one kind of a belief system. Yeah, thank you very much for this question. Uh, 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 I said, and I think you, I don't know, may got the PDF from the LCA or not. There is some points about the Skype God, some of the chapter. Later on, I just developed it into the philosophy because I thought that chapter is not enough. So when we just look from the Simon de Beauvoir, I think that you are interested in the feminism. Maybe we can discuss about this one later on because I am going to
All right.
synthesize the feminist all waves now because I look the every step of the feminism and I am now in the final stage of that one. And before I said you, everyone, that one sentence is enough to synthesize their idea, and they all missing the one very important part. I will expose this one later on. But we have to just consider in the Simon de Beauvoir, the second sex is that I just want to be one part of my book. I just explained here. It is maybe unconcerned, not concerned, though it can be just related with the Kunga's question. Simon de Beauvoir has written a very book, 800 pages, the two part of the second sex. His major argument is the woman has to be free or everything has to be equal, anything else, all the women and feminist webs it's saying that. But I tell to Kunga is that second sex, the word itself is the inferior word. I just attack, I started to rewrite her point from here when like anybody else accepted themselves we are second, then it is already scapegoat. That Simon de Beauvoir is not scapegoat by anybody else. She has scapegoated herself. And this point is also contradicted with the John Paul Sartre's one important point. That point was not mentioned in the book reviewers in the 5th chapter. That is also very important one. Hell is other people. I contradicted his hell is the people. And I just maybe briefly connect this the points here. Here is other people of the Jean Paul Sartre's very important single act play. And that play there are three characters, and the three characters are disturbing each other, jealous each other, and making the quarrel each other, fighting sometimes, debate a lot, and at last the character Garson Joseph Garson said, "Hell is other people." And maybe some of you have already read that part, but no one has maybe attention to the another part. There is a two part. One part is always minimized, put in the marginal, and there is page also the very small page in the first part. Second part is highlighted. Second part is Jean Paul Sartre's personal experience when Hitler imprisoned him 9 months in the Hitler camp, 1941. He was in the Hitler camp. And what kind of people he met inside the prison, he mentioned in his this single act play. Means inside the prison, who are there, they are mostly the criminals. Maybe sometimes innocent also, but the 99% are punished by the courts, government. We cannot expect the good people there. Is it? That means I said that is the criminals already, the three the characters. But their first part is John Paul Sartre not mentioned, and nobody attention. Similar like the Sisyphus and Metamorphosis, no one attention that part. The three characters who were in the hell, they were criminals. The crime they have done themselves, not by other people. This is the direct message to the John Paul Sartre's that drama. These three characters were criminals in their lifetime. Later, they sent to the prison or the hell, underworld, and they made the criminals and they made the life is hell. So, first part we have to see. Suppose like all of we are students here. In the students' time, mostly I give the example because we are students here. During the student time, if we not read, we not pass the exam with a good mark, then our life is held by ourselves, not by other people, not parents, not by teachers. Is it that person who is just reading the good, who secure the good marks, their life is going to be heaven side. That is also made by themselves. The selection of hell and heaven is not by other people, 90% is by themselves. Simon de Beauvoir case is when she was writing about the feminism, she was writing, so many point writing, 800 pages she write. But she always sit beside the John Paul Sartre. She always say, I am the part of John Paul Sartre. When she accepted that point herself, that means she is scapegoat herself. If we look from the, and she has referenced many places the bad fit, and bad fit. But all her that bad fit is again scapegoat fit. Because what kind of character she presented in front of Jean Paul Sartre, maybe most of you already know. Most of all, I don't have to be mentioned here, but she scapegoated herself, and this the point is also contradict with the Jean Paul Sartre's hell is other people. It's okay, Kunga, that the answer is any more?
So that's it. Thank you so much. I was also wondering about the term itself, second sex, and I thought like it was referring to the other, because in the book she always referred to like female as the other. So that made a lot of more sense, and it gave me more points to think about and to philosophize. So thank you so much for your wisdom.
Okay, I want to add one more point here is,
Sure, sure.
yeah, because it is because you're concerned with the Simon de Beauvoir, and his second book, the one sentence is, "A woman is made, not
Yeah.
by the
Not
born." Is it? This sentence is contradicted with you know what? What is the existence list? This sentence contradicts with the existence precedes essence. You just compare these two sentences.
mhm.
The existence precedes essence in one side, and one side is woman is made,
No
not
one is
born.
born with
Is it?
rather becomes a woman.
Yeah, that means if the Jean Paul Sartre's quotation we have to follow, that she has to be find the present herself, not to be
Mm.
write this sentence. Is it or not? But she
Yeah.
said, is it or not? Woman is made means there is not the existence precedes essence. Do you got
Mm-hmm.
my point?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. It really
Mhm,
made a lot of more sense. Thank you, Dr.
mhm.
Subba.
Yes, please.
I think another one of our participants also have like a few questions that he typed in the chat.
Mr. Tony, yeah, I just reading his now. I think it's concerned with the metamorphosis and the capitalist and the family and the employment. Maybe I already explained one time. Again, I just want to say to Mr. Tony, Metamorphosis is in the uh, human dignity and the values of the work. Yes, we have to be metamorphosis according to the our supervisor, our boss. If we want to be continually work in the place, working place, we have to be. We cannot be what we are original. We original has to be metamorphosis according to our boss. Is it or not? If the boss said that you have to be just like sometimes some places, if like a boy said you just be a cat, we just to be pretend like a cat. We just be like a dog. Sometimes to be like a dog. Be if we just go against him, and he can be terminated. Again, I want to just connect one important point to the Kunga also, because this is also the concern with the metamorphosis of the that point. Once I read in the newspaper, one man is always violence to the women in the BBC World Service. This is not the general the newspaper I'm just quoting here. The BBC World Service, one the female is always violating by that the man exploiting. It's also another word. It's exploiting for 35 years. And not only they see so many staff always exploiting by the man in the offices. They have to be tolerated. They have to endure that violences because they have a fear of termination, fear of lose the facilities, fear of so many kinds. This is happening to same to the Gregor Samsa. Gregor Samsa was not willing to work. He said there because he has to go to the travel long distance. Sometimes he can get eating the food, good food. Sometimes he cannot get sleeping places and very, very bad food. He said, I don't want to work. When I finish to pay my father's loan, when I pay the sister's violent education fee, then I have to be take a long rest. He said, is it? That's what he has to do. That is metamorphosis according to his boss. Or the ladies we were working in the BBC, they also work according to the boss. But there is an option. If that ladies or that Gregor Samsa has a good opportunity or good capacity to just like avoid this place, then they can go to the condemn this person and go to another side. If they have no option, then they have to be compelled. They have to be do compromise with this situation. That compromise means another sense is metamorphosis. This is the thing. Even I am working someplace, the boss is always making annoying and so many things, but we have to be tolerant. Women have to be tolerant. Even the labor has to be tolerant. All labor either, or the women's, or the any kind of the staff, they have to be metamorphosis. That is the thing. Maybe Tony has any questions. You can also write to another, or we can be discussed later on because we are continue to the conversation in another part because he is deeply studying the all books of my philosophies. So we can be discussing later on also.
I think another participant also have another question.
Okay, okay. Uh, Sandhya is okay. Philosophy of theorism is all the time, all the era, all the age, very practical and contemporary. It is not going to be old. It is not going to be new. It's like that because it concerned with the humans. Whenever our civilization we are survive in this earth, we have this mechanism to forward straight our steps. This is very positive, but most of the thinkers use is the negative. If we just go back to the many places, they always use the negative, but we never notice. I met one scholar in my country. He did a PhD in Nietzsche's Friedrich Nietzsche, and he never noticed. When I just asked to him, he said never noticed one sentences of the Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche said, morality, fear is the morality of awe. No, no, sorry. Fear is the mother of fear or morality. This is one very famous sentence you can find somewhere. Another place is Frederick has written, fear can explain everything. He said that one means he has written a lot of thing about the fear, but he cannot focus, centralize his idea in fearism. Generally, we can see other books also. I just write about the Orientalism. Orientalism, 343 pages. There is what one sentence is sentence, because there are a lot of explanation in academia. Academic people are explaining a lot of things about the adverse side and say that the Orientalism is blah blah blah. But one sentence we have to be considered that he said, colonize and colonialism is because of fear. He said very clearly. That's page number 43, 343. Or other so many the thinkers has write about this one means here they just put in the central as synthesize, but they never focus. It means here is all the time very useful, even though we just in the personal life we can just experience and share. I said happiness has no self stand. When I was in one lecturing the philosophical tour in again Northeast India, I just give the example here. I was sitting in the like the forum on the front side with the guest seat, and there was one small the girl, student girl, secondary school girl was sitting in front, beside of me, and her mother also was there, and her mother was crying. Okay, and I just watching that the scene very closely. What is the this scenario and what is behind all this one? Means that student top district in her area, top, she became the top, and they are going to celebrate that her success. And her mother was crying because of happiness, not that cry is not for anything else. She became very happy because when that girl was educated, her mother did a lot of trouble. She faced a lot of trouble very hardly. She educated her daughter. After educated, that girl get the good mark in in the district. I think that point is again, I think that if that girl did not have a fear of unsuccess, is it or not? If she doesn't have a fear of unsuccess, she is just going to the other side, she is not focusing on the study, she cannot pass the exam. Then there is no coming to happiness. Just right now we have a World Cup is happening in World Cup is going on. The like now is the final stage in the World Cup. Spain and the Argentina is celebrating their happiness when they are reaching in the final stage. Before stage, before the happiness and joy, we have to see the background. They had a fear of defeat the game. That fear is the motivation factor. Oh, maybe we can defeat, we can lose the game, lost the prestige, the country. That's why we have to be win. That win is the motivator of the fear, and their happiness is also the based on fear. So fear is not only the single point we have to look. It has a correlation. It related with the other factors, happiness or jealous. We can say that, or ego also. There is also, if we just look from the fearism point of view, we can find out fear factors there.
I think we have like two more questions. Before you answer the one in the chat, I think Ignacio has had his hand up for a while, so I'd like to invite him to ask this question.
Thank you. So I would like to ask you about what do you believe is like the final purpose of like our lives? Because for example, you say that where we do our things or we always tend to do things because of fear. But what would you say it's our final purpose? Because at the end of the day, I don't really think we can be free if we are always worried about fearing the loss of uh, the cup, as you said with Argentina and all that stuff.
uh, Final purpose of our life is happiness. That is fine, is it? Happiness is our the final goal. Everyone want to be success, and success makes happy to the people. but behind there is a lot of circumstances or the surroundings. So what road we cross to reach that happiness and pleasure time, that they are just like the fear steps also. The another thing is, before I said that, whatever we are talking, whatever we are doing, but our brain amygdala only looks the fear. So that is the point. The central point of the brain is guide us what kind of thing we have to do, what we have to do or not to do. The happiness are the secondary factors, but primary factor is the uh, amygdala and its instruction. And after that, we can just feeling some kind of the other senses, or we can just try to buy the happiness. But generally, according to your question, is we want to be success, and the existence list has defined it in different ways, because they said somebody find the happiness in the charity, somebody find happiness in the like playing, suppose somebody find happiness to the writing a book. So that the point, the destination is different, but to reach that, again the Sisyphus is coming, to reach that peak, when we are pushing the boulder will be the player has one kind of ball, or the economist has one kind of ball, or the scientists have one kind of ball to able to push it up. Everyone just like a pushing. Different people are pushing their boulder to reach to the top. The top is the point of happiness, but at any time that boulder be coming down and cross the people. That is the point. That we have to be always aware and uh, alert. Maybe at any time that boulder will cross. Is it or not? So this is what the fear is not only the final destination. Fear is not take us to the final destination, but life is, I said, conducted, directed, and controlled by fear. Suppose like we just remove the fear, same like the mouse position is coming. We like a motionless. We have nothing to be motion. We have to be not to be fear, because fear is a consciousness in one point. When we just take out the consciousness, then what happened? Nothing is motionless, thinkingless, anything else. So fear is the central is all. That's why I said.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you go to another
And
question?
I think since our book talk is kind of coming to an end, I think you can answer like the questions that Tony have. I think he have a few questions that he wrote in the chat, and I think those could be the last questions.
Okay. Uh, this question is very concerned with the subtitle of the Philosophy of Fearism book. Life is conducted, directed, and controlled by fear. As I said before, fear is the consciousness, and we have to be just uh, taken a good example of this one is our life is similar to driving a car, or the I just want to just mention this here is a golden mean of the uh, Aristotle. He has used the golden mean about the virtue and said maximum, minimum, and medium size. But his explanation is about the virtue or morality. But my point is here, when we are driving, like a student, we can just very good example for the students. And that example is in my book as well. Suppose like I am a student, I have a maximum fear, I have a minimum fear about my exam, or about my business, or about my driving, or anything else. But there is a sure and certain. If we have a maximum fear, we can fail the exam. If we have a minimum fear, again we have to be fail the exam. We always keep the moderate with the medium size of fear. So that fear is deciding factor of our life. If in our life we are just driving ourselves, and road is coming, traffic is coming, or driving in the speed, When we are speed our life, then there is a certain accident. When are very slow our life, and there is also the accident. We cannot get the success, and we have to be control ourselves, similar to our steering. This is the point.
I think Tony have another question. I think this can be the final question, and then if you guys, if any of you have any other questions for Dr. Suba, then I think you can either like maybe Dr. Suba, you can like put your email in the chat or your contact so that anyone who have no further questions can contact you after the talk show.
Okay, sure. Last one is I'm just looking here. The most people are very confused in this point. We never overcome the fear because many people say that the love can overcome fear. And I saw in there is a one very big group, the social media group. I saw there they have what is a course of miracle. It seemed or something they said. They have a very big group and discussing about that book. They are mostly spiritual, something like that. They said no fear. No fear is impossible, but how to manage is possible. Because I said no fear. To make a no fear, need to be take out the amygdala from the brain. If we just operation and take out, there is no fear, similar to the mouse. And no fear means no consciousness. No consciousness means no motion and nothing else. No life. Just life, like a, but we have no any kind of activities of that. So fear is the first consciousness. It has to be understood like that, because it is not I'm telling, this is the brain. The first brain is looking the fear only. This is the scientific or the biological proof. So we cannot be overcome, we cannot be zero fear like this, but fear has to be maintained. That is the thing only. That Dr. Michael Fisher is very especially working in this fear management. I think I also know that last time his book is also reviewed in the youth journal. Dr. Michael Fisher, he is the specialist in this fear management system. He has institutes also. I think this is the answer of that question. Anything?
I think that would be the last question. I think it'd be really helpful if you can put your contact in the chat so anyone who wants to ask you further questions or have any follow up could contact you after the talk show. And I think since our talk show has come to an end, to end, can everyone, if you're comfortable with it, turn your camera so we can take, a group photo. And yeah, that'd be really great.
So we have to on the camera, is it?
Yes, it'd be really great if
Okay,
anyone who's will turn your
my
camera.
camera is already on.
Okay. I'll count from 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Oh wait, I think more people turn on. Let me take it again. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Suba, for your time, for hosting this book talk. And thank you all participants, everyone who asked questions and also everyone who joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you find this really helpful.
Okay, thank you. Bye then. Thank you very much, everyone.